And no one is doing, all pencils are put away at this time. Now, are we already recording? Yes, okay. All pencils gone. We're red pen correcting. If you don't have a red pen, then share with your neighbor because we're not going to go back to go get one. Does anybody need a late slip before we go on? Okay, then you get the score that you're at. All right, we started with number 6. Number 6 on page 307. Number 6 is 24 inches. If you do not have a label of inches, it is wrong. Write it inches in, please. Number 7 is 15 millimeters. Same thing, no label, no credit. Number 8, 9 centimeters. Number 9, 12.5 yards. Yes. Question? Okay, you have a choice, Katie. You either want a late slip or you want to take the grade that you have. Okay, I think that's a good choice. Here you go. Okay, so please don't write down answers, but you can move over there and work on the other stuff that you know now. What number were we on? 9? Everybody's got 9. Okay, number 10 is 6 feet. Number 11 is 9 meters. Number 12A is 63 inches. And B, you can have a lot of different proportions. So all I'm going to do is give the answer, but it is worth 2 points. And then if you need help and your answer doesn't match mine, then I'll go through explanations for you. But the answer that you should have is 15.75 feet. And that's no matter what proportion you have. Now, if you did it as inches, you should have 15 feet 9 inches. Katie? Okay, 12.5 is not correct, so I'll have to help you in a second. And so what did you get?
I got 189.
Okay, well, take right now and see what's 15 times 12 and add 9 to it and see if you get that same answer. Katie?
Sorry, I was looking at my perimeter. I got 3.75 feet.
It should not be. It should be 15.75 feet. So you made a mistake somewhere. What did you have as your proportion?
4/6 and then 2.5 over x.
Honey, you used wrong numbers from a different drawing. It should have been, write this down, you should have had h over 5.25 equals 21 over 7. Let me write it down. H over Oh, it is way off. You're right. Okay, hang on, guys. Oh, this should be, well, this will be fun. It'll be good entertainment for you all. Okay, so again, it's h over 5.25 equals, and the other side is 21 over 7. Now, the book does not, the book does not, it's all right, you understand where it is. The book does not do little over big always, so if I did the problem little over big, I would have taken the 7 over 21 and then the 5 foot 3 inches, which is 5 1/4 inch over h. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Okay. Number, can I just help you? I'm a little taller. Oh, this is I like this game. We play Catch the Flashing Star. I think Mrs. Grome did this on purpose just to see if I could do this. But did you get the point, Katie, on that one or not? Okay, so let's go back then. Do you want me to do it little over big, or do you want me to do it?
Little over big.
Okay, so pick something from the little triangle. I don't care what, just pick anything. No. Elizabeth, let her talk through it.
Number 12?
Yes.
Oh, so
Okay, 12 is, that's not correct. So let's do it together. Pick something from the little triangle. Okay, do you have number 12 open on your book? Okay, well that helps. Okay, let me finish correcting while she finds that. Am I on number 13? Okay, number 13, the first answer is 3.75 feet, and the second answer is 12.5 feet. It's worth 2 points. Number 14, I'm sorry, hands or no? Okay. Number 14, they ask you to walk through this problem, and if you look at what they're drawing, all it is a triangle, and a triangle turned on its side. And so your answer is going to be 36 feet. Again, if you have, there's so many different proportions. So if you did not get 36 feet, please ask, because then I can go through your proportion and see where you messed up. Okay, number 15A, DE is 10 and FG is 12.5, and they both need labels of centimeters. That's worth 2 points. And then number 15B is 26 centimeters and 32.5 centimeters. Okay, now Katie, you got your book open. Let's go back to that. Pick something from the little triangle. I don't care what.
I think I got some problems mixed up. What was number 10?
6 feet.
Okay, what's number 11?
9 meters.
12.
63 inches for the first, for the girl's height.
Oh, I got that.
Okay, and then B is 15.75 feet, or 9 feet, I'm sorry, 15 feet 9 inches.
Okay.
Okay, so do we still need to work 12 or not?
No, I just got that one. And what was number 14?
And again, you have to have a proportion there. Okay. All right, questions on any that you missed. This is where we want to do our questioning time. I want to show the pictures. I want to draw it out. If you've missed any, you should be asking. Gabby.
Okay, on number 15, on AG, that's the only one I missed, but I kind of know how to work it, but can we just work it out?
Okay, so does anybody need 15A worked out? Nobody needs A. Everybody got both of those. Elizabeth, yes? Okay, I didn't see you nod. All right, so let's look at finding AG. Well, the first thing I need to know is that AG is that long side of the triangle, right? So I need to go by little over big. And again, you're always going to do little over big. If you do that, you're not going to get mixed up with where you're at. So from the little triangle, that side is AC. Do you agree? Okay, everybody should be there. What does AC correspond to in the big triangle? Well, I look in my book. A is the first letter. C is the third letter. So, Gabby, what would it be in the big triangle?
AG.
Right, so that's the third one. So that's over AG. Okay? And again, there have to be lines above it because they're segments. So now, Jacob, pick something else. Honey, you don't have your book open. We're all open on page 308. All right, so Nicholas, tell me something else that you know from the little triangle. I don't care what. There's 3. I've only picked 1. I've picked AC. Okay, so you picked AB, and what does Katie Kodachek AB have to correspond to in that big triangle? We're on page 309. Okay, we're on number 15. So Andrea Scheller, where we're at, AB is the first and the second letter. Okay, FD is not the first and the second letter. In the corresponding, these are the triangles that are in your book. It says triangle ABC, triangle ADE, and triangle AFG. Okay, so I said AB. That's the first and the second letter. Look up here, Katie, too. So, Andrea, which letters does it have to be? Okay, but AD is not the big triangle. We said AB, or I'm sorry, AG. AG, there's no G in this one at all. Okay, so try. It has to be AF. Oops, sorry. Forgot my fingers can't touch. So it has to be AF as well. All right, so now, once you have that, those are the letters. If you do the letters first, then we look for numbers. So Gretchen, look on the drawing and tell me, how much does it say AC is as a number? So I put 13, and we're going to leave the label off until the end. And then how much does it say that AG is, Brooke? Uh-huh. Right, that's what we're trying to find. So I'm going to call that X equals, now AB. What does AB equal? Gabby? 12. Now be careful on this AF. Make sure you're truly doing A to F. Elizabeth, how much is A to F? It's not 24. That's why I said be careful. You've got the 12 and the 12, which is where you got the 24. But look at the piece FD. How much is FD? Now it's 30 because there was 6 there. And now all you have to do is what? David? How do you solve? So I do cross products, and 3 times 3 is 9, 1 times 3 is 3, so this is 390. You should not be using a calculator for that. Excuse me. Divide by 12, I know. And X is equal to, AG is, and if you divide it, 32.5. And then, Jacob, what do I have to put?
You have to put your label.
Yep, centimeters label. Okay, questions? Okay, if you write out this part here, this is the most important. If you write that, then when you come down here, it's not a big deal. You can do it very easily. If you try to do the numbers first, you're going to make those mistakes like putting 24 here because you see that right away. But if you trace A to F in the book, you can see it's 12 and 12 and then the 6. Okay, other ones that you don't understand. Katie? Okay, that's the one I wanted you to do before. Okay, Mrs. Lewis, now I need to save this because I have to erase it, correct? Or no, it'll automatically save it. Okay, so if I erase, it's not gone. Okay, so, close. Yeah. I am. These guys taught me these good tricks of going here. Okay, so now, Katie, we're going to do the same thing. We're picking little over big. So, Katie, what do you want from the little figure? Okay, 7 feet is the line on the ground. So I'm going to pick 7. And again, we're not going to do the labels right now. There's no letters, so we only have numbers to look at. What does the 7 go with? What is the laying down number, Gretchen, on the big figure? 21 is correct. So 7 over 21 equals. Now, this is where the mistake is. It's that inches and feet. If people would have listened to Thomas Jefferson, we wouldn't be dealing with this because he would have gotten us into the metric system well before we were, right at the beginning of being a country. So this is where most of you will have made the mistake. How many of you put 5.3? Did anybody put 5.3? It does. It says to take and make this either all into inches or if you did it as a decimal. And it's okay to do it as a decimal. I wouldn't change it all to inches, even though they had you do 63 inches. I would rather work with feet. But 3 inches is what decimal? You could do both. 3 inches is if I have 5 feet 3 inches. This is off to the side. 5 feet 3 inches. This is 5 well, I have to take 3 inches and make it into a fraction. How many inches are there in a foot, Elizabeth? There are 12. So this is really 3/12 of a foot. So cross that out. And 3/12 is 1/4. So now I get that this is 5.25 over, what does the 5.52 correspond to? or the variable. This time they called it h. Okay, Katie, do you know what to do now? Okay. All right, anyone else? It's cross products, correct. Yes, Nicholas? Okay, number 9. Did you look at the letters or did you try and do numbers first? Just be honest. Okay, so let's look at what letters you used. The given that they gave you is A, B, C, D is similar to R, S, T, U. Okay, so what letter did you use first? Okay, so A, B, which is that long side of the rectangle. And so what does it have to go with over here? Right, because these are the first two letters, so that's over RS is equal to, then you picked what? Okay, I'm going to just say DA. And again, I have to put those little lines above. I know it doesn't show on that one. And AD is the first and the last, so it has to go with what? Okay, it looks like you have it set up correctly. So then let's just see if you put a different number in. AB was 30 over RS is 25 equals DA is 15 over NX. Is that what you had? So did you have all these letters right?
Yeah, I switched to 15.
Okay. So that was just a little simple error. That was, as long as you've got this part correct, you're good. Jacob?
I did it, or it's like 15 over 30 and X over 25. It's still.
Again, yes, Jacob, like I said, every time we get one of them, there are lots of ways that you can set up the proportions. Half of them work, half of them don't. So, Elizabeth, what's the trick that I told everyone to use every single time so you don't mix it up? Jacob, what is it?
It's when they're like in that order. You do the first two, and then the last two.
Okay, it's simpler than that. You've got to, guys, again, half the time it's going to work, half the proportions you set up are going to give you the correct answer, half the time they're not. So if you go with that, it's a 50-50 chance. You need something that's going to guarantee you get it right every time. What should you do, Gabby? Little over big every time. If you set it up the same, I know it seems simple. I know it seems babyish, Jacob, but it's right. If you do it the same way every single time, you're not going to have to worry that you mix your numbers up or that you flip it wrong. Because there are, again, about 8 different ways. I say lots of ways, but really, realistically, there are 8 ways that you could set this up. Half of them you're going to get right, half of them you're going to get wrong. If you do it the same way every single time, you're not going to mix them up. Okay, other questions from the assignment? Anything else you don't understand? You're sure? Okay, I'm going to wait on scores, and we'll do the scores at the end because you don't want your scores recorded. No, I want to keep going because I don't want to mess up on what they have next. All right, so what comes next? We've just finished it. We're ready for a quiz. Didn't do it. I have to have this up. Not too bad. Okay, so what's going to be on your quiz on Friday? It's a quiz. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What's the first topic that you should write down that we started out with the chapter? What's the very first thing? What's the very first thing that we need to have and know what to do?
Sorry.
Okay, Katie, you need to close that, please, and go to where we're at. Well, you need your notebook. You just can't be doing the work. What's the first topic that we did? Nicholas. Okay, it's before proportions.
Ratio.
It's ratio and a rate. So if you don't know what ratio and rate are, who needs an example of one of those? Everybody's perfect. You have absolute confidence that you know what all that is. Gabby. Okay, there's 2 kinds of rates. What are the 2 kinds of rates? Elizabeth. There is. There's a regular old rate, which would be like I say that you got 15 candy. You got 15 candy pieces. I don't like candy pieces. 15, I guess candy. 15 pieces of candy. And for 6 kids. That's just a plain old rate. Now, Elizabeth brought up unit rate, which, by the way, is a vocabulary word, which means that you would be required to write a definition of that, if need be. And what is a unit rate? What would I have to do in order to make 15 pieces of candy for 6 kids into a unit rate? Katie? Okay, but more specific. I'm looking for a special thing. You are right. We would take 15 and divide it by 6. You are. Again, it's pieces, it's candy per kid. But there's something that both of you have missed that is the important part of the definition. What's the part that they're missing? Katie's right. We're going to take 15 and simply divide it by 6. And again, I'd allow you to use a calculator for that. But what? What part are they missing? Brooke? Yeah, that's the part. This is the most important. And probably you all are looking at like, okay, well, yeah, we know that. But that's the important part. It's how many pieces per one kid. So any unit rate, when I'm going miles per hour, if I'm saying I am going, David, 50 miles per hour, what does that mean? Every 1 hour that I travel, I'm going 50 miles. And so that is a unit rate. All right, who can tell me what this Candy Kids one that I just made up, how many pieces of candy do they get? Katie? Does anybody agree? 6 times 2, 12. 3 6 is half, so 0.5. So it is 2.5 pieces of candy per kid. That's the unit rate. Okay, everybody understands what a ratio is. Who can write a ratio 3 ways? Write it 3 ways. Gretchen.
3 to 1.
I write 3, the word 2, and 1. What else? How else can I write it? Write it a second way, David. 3, colon 1. And the best way for last, Elizabeth? 3 as a fraction over 1. You need to be able to take words and write it in those 3 ways. Okay, that's 6-1. I forgot to put that one up there. Okay, give yourself a grade right now on, if you are at A, you could take the test right now on those questions and I put it in front of you, you could get them all right. B, C, or I need help. Right then, give yourself that grade. I love that little trick. Okay, 6-2, what's next? What's the next thing that we need? Nicholas? It's proportions. Okay, and what is the definition of a proportion? Again, this is a vocabulary. I guess I should write the whole thing because somebody's not here. Brooke? Okay, but simpler terms. That's the book definition. I want in your brain. What does it look like? What does it look like? This is the quietest they've ever been, just so you know. Gretchen, what does it look like?
It's like a fraction.
Fraction equal to what?
A fraction equal to another fraction.
Absolutely. It's a fraction equal to a fraction. Now, setting up the proportion, what's the key way in a word problem that you're going to set it up? We already went over this, but I'm going to say it again because it's that important. What do I do to set it up, Katie? Yep, do little over big. Little over big equals little over big. Now, again, this formula of doing it, it's going to keep you, if you program yourself to do that every time, it's going to work all the way through calculus and beyond. You have to have a pattern of the way you're going to set it up. All right, how do we solve these? Now that we know what the definition is, how do we solve? There are a few different ways. that you can solve? What's the first way? David? Yeah, we can do equal fractions. I almost started to write that. Equal fractions, which means the common denominator. What else can you do? The favorite one, this is the one you all like, is cross products. And there's one other one that you can do. This one, I don't think we tend to use as much. Jacob, what is it? Yes, you do. It's calculator, putting it into the decimals.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And again, we don't use that one very often. You did, I know. Calculators. Using your calculator. Okay, questions on that? Yes. Well, which one do you think we're going to use? Okay, we've used this. Now, hold on. 6-2 is all of these. 6-3 is just cross products. Okay, so which one is the majority? Cross products. In 6-2, we give you all these options, but then we say cross products is so important, we're going to do another whole day of it. And so 6-3 is what you're going to use most often. Now, there could be a problem. For example, if I give you this, I would never expect you to do cross products because this one's very straightforward. Andrea, what times 4 is 8? 2. So 2 times 2, you gave me the answer of 4. Right, I would expect that you use equal fractions for that. I would not expect you to do cross products on the simple ones. Okay, now give yourself a grade on 6-2 and 6-3. How good are you at solving cross products? Give yourself a grade on both of those. Do you feel like you are A+ ready to go? Or do you need more work in that area? Okay, the last two. Anybody need more time on this? Yes. Well, that would be the rates, yes. Yeah, you'd have simple rates. Most people emphasize the ratio part when we were talking about it in 6-1, but yes, go back to 6-1 and put rate in there, where you have to do the conversions. It's going to be basic conversions. There aren't going to be ones where you have to do 6 steps. It's going to be the basic ones. Like, for example, if I tell you I'm going 75 miles in 8 hours, how many feet per second would that be? The quiz that you have on Friday, if I can get it graded really quick, then it'll be on your midterms. If I can't, then it won't. I can't guarantee you one way or the other. Do I ever grade them in order?
I hope so.
No. All right, let's go on to the last 2 sections. Okay? All right. I did. I missed just a little. Okay. Last sections go together. 6-4 is, again, the introduction to what we did last night in our homework 6-5. So they go together, and that's similar versus congruent. Okay? Can you give a definition of similar? Can you give a definition of congruent? Yes? Well, which one is which? You got to know which one is which, but you're on the right track. Elizabeth.
They're the same shape but different size.
That's similar. Same. Sorry. Same shape. Different size. This one is, Andrea? No, that's the same one that was up there. Okay, who can help? I know, we're going to help. Who can help? Katie? Same shape and same size. Okay, got to have both of them. Same size, same shape. Okay? Now, what does that give us? Because that's basically all 6-4 is. It's matching up the letters. How many in a triangle, how many congruent angles are there? Katie? How many angles are congruent? Yes. Not in a triangle. Yes, so here's one triangle. And here's two triangles. So how many congruent angles do we have? Nicholas? 3. They're all congruent. Okay? Remember when we did this? Here's A, here's B, here's C, here's D, E, and F. And then we're going to put the bands. One band on A says one band here. It's congruent means you have to have 2. Like how many pairs of socks are you wearing right now? 1 pair, but it takes 2 socks. So it's 2 angles to make 1 pair. I didn't understand what you said then. All right, let's keep going. Here's 2, goes to 2, 3. I have to squeeze it in here to through it. Oh, that's terrible. I can't erase that, but there's 3 there. Okay? So now, what angle is congruent to angle A? Andrea? Watch. Here's angle A is congruent to which angle? Angle A has one band. Where's the one band? It's angle F. Okay? Katie, what angle, I'm sorry, what side? Let's do a side here. If I have the side AB, it's similar to what side? Elizabeth?
Would you say it's EF or F?
Well, we have to look at the sides. Remember, AB is the 1 and the 3 side. So over here, where's the 1 and the 3 side?
FE?
Yes. Okay? Okay? All right, so now that's 6-4. How does 6-5 relate to this? What do we do that's different in 6-5? Andrea? Yeah, all we do is fill in numbers. Ah, except my finger touched. Hang on. In 6-5, all we're doing is fill in the numbers, cross products. All right, again, evaluate yourself. A through C or needs help on those last 2 topics. Yes?
Can we do a word problem like the ones in our homework class?
We're going to practice lots. We're reviewing today and we're reviewing tomorrow. So we have 2 days of review. Today is the first day where I want you to set yourself of what you're going to need to study. Look at your list of the 5 topics. If you've given yourself an A on everything, then that means you only have to do the minimum, which is what I give you for homework the next 2 nights. If you give yourself a B on any category, you should go back and look at those sections, go back over the word problems in those sections. You have to learn to study math, and that's what we're really working on this second semester, is studying how to get ready for the quizzes and tests. If you gave yourself a C or lower on anything, then going by yourself is not enough. You've got to come in and get some help so that you understand. Is it an absolute emergency? Okay, then go. All right, so at this time, let's turn this off for a second, which means